What's up guys, my name is Artegrial and I am a member of the Onyx Angels team, and today we're going to be doing a little deck structure here on the Dueling Network. Now this deck is one that I personally built, and it's not great, but it's also only 2 days old, so don't bitch and whine at me because it's still very much in progress. And, if you think you can do a better job, which I'm sure some of you could, just go ahead and give it a try should you wish, and I would be eager to hear how I can make it better. Now, our first cards are, obviously, 3 Dark Magicians. No, just because, it's centered around Dark Magicians. You can't have a Dark Magician deck without a Dark Magician. Next up, we've got 3 skilled Dark Magicians, and these guys are helpful because each time a spell card is activated, we place a counter on them. You can only place 3 counters on it. Now, the reason we want this card is even though it only has 1900 attack and 1700 defense, if we can keep it alive for 3 spell card activations, we can tribute him to bring out a Dark Magician. Next up, we've got 2 Dark Magician girls. Now, the reason we have her is because she can actually exceed the power of Dark Magician if all 3 Dark Magicians go to the grave and we can't get them back. Because Dark Magician Girl gains 300 attack for each Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos in either player's graveyard. Now, I would have Magicians of Black Chaos in here, but unfortunately, they have been banned, so that doesn't really help my cause much. Next up, we have 2 Dark Magician Knights. Now, I have these because when they're special summoned, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it, which is helpful in and of itself for if you, say, run into a Blue Eyes, because obviously a Blue Eyes overpowers Dark Magician, considering Blue Eyes is at 3000 and Dark Magician is 2500. So that's there for that purpose. We have a Dodger Dragon, because here, down in the extra deck, I've got Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, because of the fact that if you look in the description, once per turn you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and destroy a card on the field, a face-up card. Now that could be your opponent's field, or if you really just need to clear your field, you could clear your field with this. And it has 2600 attack, so that's helpful as well. After that, I've got 3 Defender the Magical Knights. Now, the reason I have these guys is because when they're normal summoned, you place 1 spell counter on these cards, and instead of destroying a spellcaster monster, you can destroy that counter. So if your Dark Magician is in peril, that can save it. It cannot save your Dark Magician Knight, because your Dark Magician Knight is a warrior type and not a spellcaster type. After that, we've got 2 Winged Karibos. Now, the reason we have Winged Karibo is, number 1, because its effect, and that is when it's sent to the graveyard, you take no battle damage for the rest of the turn. And number 2 is this XYZ monster I have down here, which is useless for attack, true, but great for defense. It requires 2 level 1 monsters, and once per turn it can't be destroyed by battle, plus it's safe from card effects so long as you have an XYZ material attached to it. Granted, this only negates effects that target it directly, so Mirror Force or Raigeki, Dark Hole, it can't negate those, but other than that, you're good. After Winged Karibo, we've got 3 Alchemist of Black Spells. Now, we have this guy because once per turn, you can switch this monster from attack to defense and place a spell counter on a card you can place a spell counter on. So that can help speed along Skilled Dark Magician's effect, or it can replenish Defender the Magical Knight's effect. So it's really helpful there. Moving on to the traps, we have 3 Scrap Iron Scarecrows. Now this card is handy because it's like Magical Cylinder, or Magic Cylinder rather, not Magical Cylinder. It's like Mirror Force. It negates an attack. Only instead of destroying the card, you can set it face down again. So you can spam Scrap Iron Scarecrow and negate 1 to 3 turns or attacks per turn, depending on how many Scrap Iron Scarecrows you have down and how many times they attack. Next, we got 3 Call of the Haunteds, because you have to tribute your Dark Magician to be able to summon Dark Magician Knight with this spell, Knight's Title. And that's the only way you can special summon your Dark Magician Knight. So we've got 3 Call of the Haunted here to bring out the Dark Magician Knight and then bring back the Dark Magician, which is really handy in and of itself. Next, we got 3 Magical Cylinders so that you can negate the attack of a monster and deal damage to your opponent based on that monster's attack. And then we've got 3 Ancient Rules to help us special summon either Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, depending on what you have available or what you want to use it on. And of course 3 Knight's Title, as I mentioned earlier. 3 Dark Magic attacks to really wipe out that back row, because who doesn't hate that back row? Especially when it's set, because you never really know what it is. We got 2 The Flute of Summoning Karibos, so that you can get your winged Karibos out from your deck should you need to. A Polymerization, of course, so you can fuse Dark Magician Girl and Dodger Dragon, rather. A Raigeki to clear the monsters in case, for some reason, your Dark Magician Knight doesn't take care of that Blue Eyes or other card. And then 3 Black Pendants also to power up your Dark Magician. That way it can maybe take care of that pesky Blue Eyes or other powerful cards. I'm just really hung up on Blue Eyes because that has been the main card to negate my Dark Magician, so sorry for any Blue Eyes fans that may be offended by my commentary. But anyways, that's the Dark Magician structure, and anyone who has any ideas on how to make this better, I would appreciate it if you could leave a comment. Go ahead and smack that like button for me, and don't forget to subscribe for more great content, because we are going to be posting every Wednesday now, maybe even more. And if you would like to see me do a certain type of deck structure, just go ahead and post the structure type in the comments. I will read the comments and go ahead and do the most common, or not the most common, but the one that pops up the most in the comments. And I will either do my best to make a good deck of that type, or get one off the internet if I can't make a deck like that in time. And thanks for watching.